Number 9, R.J. Corvo says, why were many of the prophets who wrote books included in the Old Testament if they didn't perform miracles and their prophecies didn't come true until the New Testament? What made them stand out from false prophets? So, RJ, I think the thing I'd like to encourage you with is to, well, first off, to know that there are some pretty, there's more confirmatory evidence in the Old Testament for the different prophets than you might be aware of. So like, for instance, let's say that I was looking at Huldah recently in my Women in Ministry series. Okay, so Huldah offers a prophecy about what they need to do, but they knew, she just shows up one time, gives a prophecy, and then they're like, okay, thank you for that word. How did they know Huldah was a prophet in the first place? Right? There's things that happen in her life that we don't know about because they're not recorded in Scripture. There's probably more events, like we know, like Elijah did this many miracles. Like, is it really that he only did that many? We often count. Elijah did 7, Elisha did 14 or something. I think those are the numbers. If you include the bones one. But is that really all they did? That's all they did in Scripture. And maybe each one of those is recorded for specific purposes for sure. But is that all that happened? When Jeremiah shows up and he prophesies, had he never done anything to validate the fact that he was a prophet before he started writing? So I think there's a lot that may have gone on that we're not aware of, where the prophet did in fact validate or prove that they were genuine. We just didn't have it all recorded in Scripture because proving that they were a real prophet was more important for the initial people, and recording their prophecies for all of us was more important for the rest of us. And so we often see God doing, I think, double duty with the prophets in the Old Testament. And we'll see this sometimes where they offer short-term and long-term prophecies. And sometimes you're reading the short-term prophecies and you're like, I don't really know why this is valid. This happened so long ago. And it's like, well, part of that was to validate the fact that they were a real prophet. Then you get to the long-term prophecies and you're really interested in this because it's more in-time stuff. And that would have been less applicable to the original hearers. And so God is writing a book for all people, not just for one person in one time period, but for all people in all time periods. So it gets complicated. So yeah, why were they included in the Old Testament? Because there was legit reason for them to think they were prophets. Many times we see this in the Scriptures themselves, probably more than you're aware of, I'm guessing based on your question. And when we don't, like say with Huldah, why was she called a prophet? Like I'm thinking because they had experiences with her that we didn't have, and we don't know about. But that's what got her that status, which is why she ended up in the text of Scripture there. Hope that helps.